Morning everyone, I am Evelyn Saga from Brittle and now I would like to discuss to you all about, but before we go into that, I would like to request everyone to stand up, and Mr. Tabon will lead a prayer and Mr. Guzon will going to check the attendance for today's class. And now we're done with that, and before we start our discussions, guys, here are some scrambled letters that can help you guide for the topic for today, and it composed of 2 words and 10 letters. But in order you to create the word out from these letters is that I have some clue for you, and here is some pictures. First we have this one, the other one. It is a bed, for those who can see it clearly. Then a man who do some chairs, furniture. And the last pictures is this. They are all made up of woods. That every one of you has already an idea for what would be our topic for today. And out from this letter, I was going to arrange this. And finally, you're right. Our topic for today is about wood joints. So I arranged this one. So everyone, can you please read? Wood joints. It is now wood joints. So that would be our topic for today. I think everyone has already an idea of what is wood joints all about. In your mind, what is wood joints? So from the word itself, it is wood joints. So the 2 timbers was joined together, was joined together by screw or a nails or something adhesive to create something or some objects. We can see this product everywhere and something in our home like that, in schools, and it is everywhere. That's the product of wood joinery. Our topic for today is about types of wood joints. We will discussing type of wood joints. But before we start, I would like to introduce to you the 3 objectives of this discussions. First objective is to identify the different types of wood joints. The second objective is analyze the importance and uses of different type of wood joints. And the last one is give at least 5 examples of things, objects where wood joinery was used or applicable. And now let's proceed. First wood joint is butt joint. It was defined that the end of a timber board is called the butt. Woodworkers forming this joint are placing 2 ends together at a right angle to create a corner. When you say right angle, it is 90 degrees. So like there's a vertical and horizontal form of the joints like that. So it is 90 degrees, So then mechanical fasteners such as nails or screws are necessary to preserve this joinery. Of course, how could you join 2 woods without using nails, screws, or adhesive on it? Just think. So when we say also butt joint, you see this technique used most often when building wall, frame, or attic framing like that. Some frame, decking, and sandboxes also use it. You can see that butt joint is used everywhere because this is commonly used by mostly carpenter. So here is the pictures of butt joint. It is 2 woods joined together with screw or nails. The second types of wood joints is miter joints. So it was defined as this joinery option connects 2 butts that get cut at an angle. The advantage of using this approach involves the strength of the corner, you receive a seamless look that does not show any end grain. So this is the advantage of this wood type of wood joints, because it doesn't show any end grains like that. So and just think, what would be the uses of this method butt joints? So maybe you're wondering, here are some pictures. It's just the same like butt joint, but it is cut into an angle, yeah, just to create seamless end grain. So the uses of it is, since the method joint has minimal strength, yeah, this is minimal strength, but it depends upon what tightening, or if you use screws or nails on it, it depends upon that. So it is typically used for trim and molding purposes. Depending on the purpose, you may need strength to joint by adding nails. Yeah, as what I tell you before, by adding nails, it has more strength rather than you use some screw in it or adhesive. It's not too only minimal strength if you use that. Classic example of method butt joinery is wooden picture frames. Try to observe some of your wooden picture frames there, and that's an example of method butt joints. The third type of wood joints is half lap joint. So it was defined, woodworker used this joint to join two boards together to create a plush surface. It happens most often when a connection is needed in the middle of the timber, although corner connections are also possible. So here's the pictures. If you can look at this one, yeah, on the what's this? There's some part of this was cut or removed so that it can create a seamless end like that. It creates smooth one. Let's proceed to mortise and tenon joint. So the woodworker joint was one of the first methods invented for construction. Mortise and tenon joinery continues to be one of the strongest wood joints to use for framing and building. The technique is similar to tying and groove method, except that the large square and receptacle for seamless joinery. So this is now mortise tenon, yeah, and the tenon will get you will insert the tenon to the mortise to join them together. So in this mortise and tenon joints, it requires precise measuring and craftsmanship to complete. Yes. Still, the technique also serves as one of the most beautiful connection methods we use. This joints typically requires a 90 degrees connections to be useful. As you can see, if it's joined together, it creates 90 degrees angle. So, asking yourself, what would be the uses of this type of wood joints? So, this is it. So the uses of these types of wood joint is often used in furniture making, yes, and crafts. Your table legs are most probably joined by a stop mortise and tenon joint, and chairs legs are often attached with the help of angle mortise. Yes. So as you can see, try to observe now your table legs and chairs if it is using the same technique in this called mortise and tenon joint. Proceed. So we have now the rabbet joint. So woodworkers form this joint performing a process of recess into the edge of the timber. It looks like the protruding edge from a tongue and groove joint, except it has one side cut from it instead of two. While the rabbet joinery is a simple wood joint, it is much stronger than the bat joint. So, here's the pictures. As you can see here, the two woods was joined together. Yeah, it is seems like a a bat joint, but it is more tightened, or which is that it don't have minimal strength. It can create some strong objects like that. It was used for kinda some purposes, you know. So, and as rabbet joints, this technique allows a flat piece, such as such as the back of your cabinet, to sit flush with both sides for a seamless finish. Try to observe now the back of your cabinet. As you can see, yeah, I have cabinet in my room and they use that rabbet joint. So, variation of this joint is the dado rabbet joint. So, you also see this joint used in window sills. Yeah, in window sills and doors. Hook glass inserts must sit within a frame. So, like that. Just try to observe your window. In your window sills, they will use the types of joinery. This dovetail joint. So woodworkers use this option to add strength to a corner. It uses interlock joinery of a series of pins and tails to create a resilient edge that can be used for furniture, cabinetry, and framing. So, in this dovetail joint, hand techniques and machining are useful. Useful ways to create such object like furniture. If you're making some furniture, cabinetry and cabinet, or some framing, yeah, this dovetail is applicable, but it needs a hand techniques and machining are useful in these ways. So, however, the craftsmanship required does not need more time than other joinery options, because it was, as you can see, it's not too easy, but you can save time in this kind of wood joints, the dovetail. Just 11 types of wood joints is half-line dovetail. Most drawers use this joint design because it features a trapezoid design for the pins that fit together at the end of the timber. Woodworkers use it to avoid having the connection visible from the front of the piece without compromising their work strength. So this is now, it is similar to the what's this? Dovetail joint, but what's the difference of this half-line dovetail is that if it is joined together, it creates a flush surface or joinery. This is one of those wood joints that requires the hand of a skilled woodworkers. Yes, it needs, but the end result is beautiful. As you can see, if these two joints wood join together, it creates a nice and beautiful results. A strong joint that is well worth the extra efforts. So the 12 type of wood joints is a sliding dovetail. So yeah, another variation of dovetail joinery is the sliding dovetail joint, which works like a tongue and groove while using dovetail technique. So it seems like it is tongue and groove, but The difference is that, as you can see, it was it is seems like it is similar to mortise and tenon wood joints. And when you in this wood joint, as you can see in the image, here the dovetail slot is machined in the face of the board, while the pin profile is cut at the end of the matching piece. That's it. So, the type of wood joint is the back joint. So it was defined that this joint works at the end of two timbers pieces to build a seamless right angle. Seamless. You carve out a series of symmetrical slats to form rectangular projections, called fingers. Yes. Once you glue the connections, the fingers get inserted to create a permanent bond that results in a solid corner. It's like that. It says dub and dovetail, right? It seems like it is the dovetail, but you can see at the end of that is it create a box. It's a box, like that's why it's called box joint. So box joinery is an effective alternative to dovetail joints. Yes, the dovetail joinery works best on hardwood, and it requires a complex machining process. On the other hand, box joinery is easy to create a works on most types of wood, including plywood. You can cut the fingers of the box joint on a table saw with a set of dado blades. Yeah. In cutting this one, you use dado blades because it's not easy if you just use chisel on it. So you need some special tools to create this, to enable to create these types of wood joints. Then we have this brittle joint. This approach uses a modified version of mortise and tenon joint. Instead of cutting a square piece to form a corner, woodworkers create a lengthy edge that fits into a groove receptacle. It creates a right angle through this connection with three adequate surfaces that holds adhesive for added strength. So, in this brittle joint, when you add rails to the modern bed frame with a headboard and footboard. So in this footboard, the most common connection is a brittle joint. You can find several varieties of this technique, including T-brittle, metered brittle, and double brittle joints, which is commonly used in a canvas stretcher bars. And last but not the least is that we have and I didn't show you the pictures of brittle joint. This one, it seems like it's it is like a mortise and tenon, but as you can see in the end of the first of the other wood was already cut. So when you insert this one, so it still create a plush surface or seamless surface. So last is that we have this finger joints. So this type of wood joiner technique is mainly used to join two pieces of wood to make a longer board. Lengthening joint usually has a larger gluing surface between the joint pieces. So this is it. It's just the same of this box joints and this what's this, and this sliding dovetail. This seems like the same, but in this finger in this finger joint is that first in this, and how to make this is first you have to cut fingers similar to a box joint but deeper. In the case of a box joint, you join two pieces of wood at the 90 degrees to achieve a solid corner. Here you lay the mating wood pieces flat as assemble them with a thin layer of wood glue between the fingers. Yeah. It has a strong bond, yeah, because it is finger joint and it was really have a good connection, or it was really attached each other, and what's this? It has more strength than the rest of the wood type of wood joints that we've discussed. So, and that's all, guys. I hope you learned something in these discussions. Thank you for listening. So, class, we are done with our discussion for today as a part of your evaluation. So here are some questions that you need to answer. This is only 2 questions. It's so easy as like eating pie. So the first, copy paste in the Google or somewhere and do not copy to your classmates. Yeah, and then give you 10 minutes to answer these questions, and prepare or read or study in advance about scaffolding. So study in advance, guys, and that's all for today, and God bless everyone.